Hey, how's it going today? Today I'm going to teach you how to create a document using Google Docs. What do you use Google Docs for? Well, you use it for anything from uh, doing a book report to an essay to, well, this assignment. So here I am in Google Classroom. I'm going to click Classwork, then Google Assignments, and here's my instructions. I'm going to go ahead and click on it to expand it out. To complete this assignment, you will need to split your screen so you can see two documents at the same time. On one screen, you will have the instruction sheet, and in the other, you will have the document you're creating. Click the link titled Instructions Word Processing Info 2020 for your instructions. Click the link titled Word Processing Information 2020 to open what you will type. You will use both of these documents to complete the assignment. If you need help with the assignment, you will find an instructional video under Class Resources on Google Classroom, which is what you're watching here. All right, so I'm going to open the instructions in one tab. So I'm going to right-click, open in a new tab. And there's the instructions. And I'm going to go ahead and open this with Google Docs so I can edit them out. And I'll show you the edit in a second. No, we don't need a tour. Thank you. All right, let me go back here. I'm going to right-click. Remember, on a Chromebook, a right-click is a two-finger tap. Or you can choose open link in a new tab. There we go. All right, so there's what I'm needing. I'm going to put my instructions in first place. Okay. So the instruction says to do this assignment, split your screen so you can see the document you're working on as well as the instructions. You're definitely going to want to split screen. Unfortunately, my screen capture software won't allow me to show you that. So you're going to have to split it on your own. But basically, you're going to click this tab. You're going to pull it down and over, and it will lock into place. Let go of your mouse, and then you choose what you want the other screen to be. Now, let's move on. Number one, go to Google Docs and create a document named Word Processing Information. All right, so I'm going to go to Google Docs. Now to get there, I'm going to go to my Google Drive. And in my Drive, I have a folder that's called Principles of Information Technology. I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to go ahead and get myself a new folder because I don't have one, called Docs. And I'm going to put it in the Docs folder. It'll help you keep it organized. Trust me, you definitely want to do this. So I've got it organized. It's going into Docs. I'm going to hit New, Google Doc, and I have officially opened it up. I'm going back to my instructions because it tells me that I need to name it Word Processing Information. I'll go ahead and copy that so I don't have to type it. Come over here. Here's where I put my document title. I paste it in. And I officially have a file named Word Processing Information. I'm done with that instruction. So I go back here to my instructions, and I am going to mark this as being done. So I am looking for my highlight. If you have the highlight feature available, I highly recommend that you highlight it. I think this is a view-only document, so you may not be able to do that on your part. All right. So next up, I'm going to create a cover page with the title of the assignment, my name, and the date in a readable font in any color I choose, and I'm going to insert a picture that complements it. And it all needs to be centered. That's what this says right here. Okay, so that's what I'm about to do. So I'll go back to my document. You'll find center here. If you can't see all of the menu options, click the three dots that you will find to the right of your menu, and you'll be able to expand it out. So I'm going to turn on centering. And I'm going to pick, let's go this font, and we'll go, oh, it's a title. So I think I'll take it as a 36. And I'll make it red. And I'm going to put the title of the assignment, Word Processing Information. Sorry about the interruption. And I'm going to put my name because the instructions tell me, let me get this out of the way. Got it. The instructions tell me to do that. I'm going to put the date, 21, whoop, whoop. And I'm going to put in a picture. I'm going to click Insert and Image. And I'm going to search the web for a picture, and I'm going to look for a Chromebook. Why not? Chromebook. Search for Chromebook. I'll take this guy and insert him in. Now the picture is going to be huge. I need to resize it. That's way too big. So I'm going to grab a corner. You click on the picture and you grab a corner. you either grab either one of the four corners, it doesn't matter. So I pull it in to make it smaller so it's more respectable in size. Never use the top, bottom, or sides to resize an image because you make him look, well, either like a pancake or a toothpick, and neither look is, well, all that good. All right, next thing we're going to do, the instructions. I go back to my instructions, and it tells me to insert a break, page break. All right, and put my name, date, and period number centered in the header. Put a quote, Bible verse, or song lyric of my choice centered in the footer. All right, so let me go back. I'm going to insert a page break. Now, if I insert a page break right now, what's going to happen is my guy with the Chromebook is going to end up on the second page, which is not where I want it. So I actually want the page break to go in after my picture. So I'm going to click and put my cursor down here. All I did was click to the right of the picture and hit enter. And then to insert a page break, I go to insert, then I go to break and page break. Now I have two pages. I've got my cover page with the name of the assignment, my name and the date, and a picture, and they're all centered. Okay, if you're not sure what a button does, by the way, you can just simply hover over it and it will tell you what it does. All right, so I have all that done. I'm down on my second page and I'm ready to put my header and footer in. So now I click help. Anytime you're looking for something and you can't find it under any of the menus or what have you, just simply go to help and type in what it is you're looking for here in the search box. In this case, I'm looking for the header. So I'm going to type in header and boom, I hit enter, by the way, and it put me straight into the header. Now, I need for this to be centered. Why? Because the instructions told me to center it. So I click the three dots here. I locate my center button. And I put my name because that's what the instructions told me to do. The instructions also told me to put the date, 21, whoop, and my class period. All right, so I have officially put my name centered in the header. It also tells me to put a quote of my choice, Bible verse, or song lyric of my choice centered in the footer. So I can scroll down. And I cannot see the footer, so I'm going to have to, I was looking to see if I could see the footer, but it wouldn't let me see it. So I am going to go back up to help, and in this search box, this time I'm going to search for footer and hit enter, and look, it put me straight into the footer. Now, centered in the footer, I have to put a quote of my choice, whatever, okay? So I am going to put, let's go, choose a job you love and you will never work a day in your life. And this really interesting guy called Confucius, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to misspell his name. Yep, hang on. Confucius. Oh, no, it's just trying to get me to define it. Okay, said it. I'll have to Google that, but I think I have his name spelled correctly. And that needs to be centered, so you can see center's already turned on. And I have my footer, and if I scroll up, I have my header. And notice it's on the cover page, I have my header and footer. And look, I'm on page 2 now, page 2 of 2. You can see it over on the right. My name, date, and period numbers in the header, and my quotes in the footer. That's what makes the header and footer special. When you put it there, it's at the top or bottom of every single page, and you don't have to type it every single time. All right, so back to my instruction sheet over here. I have officially done number 3, so I'm going to highlight it and click my 3 dots to get all of the things to pop up. That one's done. All right, number 4, type the word processing information notes using Comic Sans MS size 12 in a black typeface. All right. So I'm back here on page 2, and instead of Pacifico for page 2, I'm going to go to Comic Sans MS. Instead of 36, I'm going to choose a size 12, and over here for the color of my font, instead of red, I'm going to choose black. All right, so I'm ready to go. Now, what is this? Type the word processing information notes. Well, that's back on Google Classroom, so I'm going to go to this tab right here that's got my Google Classroom in it. And I'm going to hit the back button and get the one called Word Processing Information and open that up. So I've got some typing I have to do. I don't really need my instruction sheet right now because the instructions told me type this, all of this. So I'm going to type all of this. It looks worse than it is. I actually have it in a pretty big font, so those of you who cannot see, it'll help you see it. And I've also got mine spaced out more than yours will be over here on the right. All right, so we start at the top of the page. You can see my cursor's at the top of the page. Notice that word processing information is centered on this page. It's also going to need to be centered on my document that I'm creating. So to turn centering on, again, it's here on your toolbar. Hover till you find the one called Center Align, and I type word processing information. Okay, now, this is what I'm typing. So basically, I'm just going to go down and type it all in. So I type word processing information. I hit enter. Now notice that general rules is bolded and it's underlined. So I'm also going to need to do that. I'm going to click the B and the U. That turns on bold and underline. And I type general rules. And there's a colon there. So I'll hold down shift and press the key that's the colon key. Now I have to turn this off. I'm going to hit enter, but I have to turn off bold and underline. To do that, I click the U again and the B again, and now it's turned off. Now notice that this is not centered. This is on the left. So I'm going to hit left align, and I'm going to type the first one. There is one space between words after a comma, and that's, you got to type what's in the parentheses too. Semicolon. Quotation. Notice how that AI is thinking for me here. Do you see how it's auto-completing? It's got this light gray. If you don't want to keep typing, all you have to do is hit tab and boom, it fills it in. Now my problem is that auto fill in, the AI, made it quotation marks, but what I was supposed to type was quotation mark. So I'm going to just do quotation mark, open parentheses, put my quotation marks, close parentheses, dash, or slash. Now your document is not going to look just like mine. Why? Because I'm using Comic Sans MS size 12 font, and you're using over here, or what I used over here was a different font. This is like an Arial size 14 or something. So that's why these two don't look the same. They're different fonts. Now, I'm done with that one. I'm going to hit enter, and now it moves my cursor down to the next line. In a single space document, such as a formal letter, there are two spaces between each paragraph. Okay, and I'm done with that. I hit enter, and that's what I'm going to do all the way down. Now, I already have this typed up, so instead of making you sit there and watch me type the entire thing, which is grueling, I know, I will simply pull up what I already have. And so I'm going to make it look the way it should look. And let's see, Comic Sans MS, size 12. There we go. Okay, so once you finish typing this in, it's going to look like this. Notice that this is centered, this is bolded and underlined, and so is this. Now, down here, you will have to type H2O for Subscript. Subscript is a character that prints below the line, such as H2O. Now, this doesn't look right. This looks like H20. This does not look like H2O. So to fix it, I am going to show you how to do H2O. All right, so we're back to the help thing. So I typed the H as normal. Okay, there's the H. Now, to do a subscript, I'm going to go to help, and in the search box, I'm going to type in Subscript. So I click it. And now when I type my 2, notice that it makes it very, very tiny. The 2 is down low now. And if I forget to turn it off, it makes everything tiny. So I simply turn Subscript on, type my 2, then I go back to help, type in Subscript again, and it turns it off, and I can type the O. Done. And then, of course, I need my period. All right, so that's how you do Subscript. Now, when you're typing Superscript, a character that prints above the line, such as 10 to the 6th power, I don't think that's what I have here. Look at that. That's 106. That is not 10 to the 6th power. We need that 6 to be up high, like an exponent. So I'm going to get rid of that 6, and I'm going to go back to help. This time I'm looking for superscript. So in the search, I type in superscript, and I type my 6, and I got to turn it off because if I don't, the stuff stays up high, and I don't want all that up high. So I'll go to help, and this time type in superscript. It's turned off, and I'm done with superscript. Okay, so I've typed all of this. I am not done. I know you wish I was done, but I'm not done. All I've done is type stuff and made a cover page. So I'm going to go back to my instructions, and that's in this tab right here. And now I'm ready to do the next thing. Type the word, oh, I already did that. Type the word processing notes using Comic Sans MS in a black typeface. Done. That's this that's sitting here. So I'm going to mark it off of my list as being done. All right, next one. Once you finish typing the notes, cut the general rules section from the top and paste it beneath the vocabulary section. All right, so I'm teaching you how to cut and paste here. You need to know how to move things around in a document. If you don't know how to cut and paste, then you will find yourself having to retype all of this stuff, and that is a pain in the you-know-what. So I'm going to highlight this. When I say highlight, what that means is I'm taking my mouse and I'm starting at the beginning and going down to the bottom of that section, or I'm starting at the end of that section and going to the top of that section, whatever. It is officially selected. So now that I have it selected, I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose cut. Then notice how it leaves this big gaping hole. I'm going to either hit backspace or delete to get rid of that big space. Now on your Chromebooks, I believe you only have a backspace, so you're going to want to hit backspace to get rid of that. All right, now I'm going to scroll down, and the instructions told me to put it underneath the vocabulary section. So I'm going to have to get at the end of vocabulary and hit enter. Now that my cursor is there, I'm ready to right click and choose paste. Remember on the Chromebooks, a right click is a 2-finger tap. Now, if you're not good with that, you might also try Control X to cut it and Control V to paste it. Alrighty, so I've officially moved the general rules from the top to the bottom, and I am proficient in cutting and pasting. So I will mark that off of my list over here. I'm done. Next up, put a bullet next to each vocabulary word. So I go to the vocabulary section. That's this one labeled vocabulary. And every single one of my words, I'm going to select. And then on my toolbar, I find the bullet button, which again, if you need to expand it out, you click these 3 dots right here, okay? And the bullet is here, so I'm going to click it. And now I've officially put bullets next to each vocabulary word. It makes them stand out. And that's the whole point of having a bullet. So I'm going to mark that off of my list. It is officially done. Okay, next thing, highlight each vocabulary word using the highlight button. Alrighty, so I only want the word highlighted. So I'm going to start with tab, and I'm going to choose, I think I'll make it that color. And now notice that the word tab is highlighted. There's no quick and easy way to do this. You've got to go to each and every one and select it. And then go to the highlighter and choose it. I think I keep choosing a different one every time, but you get the gist. As long as you have it highlighted, I am good with different shades of purple here. We'll just go way off shade. There we go. Ooh, that one's hard to read. Let me get the one you can actually read. What's the point in having a highlighter if you can't read the word that you highlighted? And the answer to that is, I don't know. I didn't have it highlighted. Hold on, let me get it. Okay, I'll keep it that light color. So here's the rule on highlighting. If you have a dark colored font, then you choose a light colored highlighter. If you have a light colored font, like if my font were yellow, then I would choose a dark colored highlight. That way it is readable, which is the whole point. You got to be able to read this stuff. Why bother to type it if you can't read it? So you're going to do that with every single word. All right. I have officially bored you enough. I think you get the point. You'll do every single vocabulary word like that. Now you ask me, Miss Parker, why can't you just do this? Look, highlight it all and then click the button. Well, because notice that not only did it highlight the vocabulary word, but it also highlighted everything else, which is not what you're supposed to do. So now's my opportunity to show you undo. In the top left corner of your screen, learn where this is. It's going to be life-changing for you. Click the undo button and boom, you got it back the way you had it before you messed it up. So learn to undo. And then if you've undone something that you want to redo, there's a nice little button to the right there called redo. All right, so anyway, undo is your friend. Learn it. All right, I am finished with highlighting each of the words. Well, I've bored you enough. For your assignment, you will need to highlight them all. We all see I didn't get it all done. Change the document to double space. Currently it's single space. You see how over here everything is just crammed on top of each other? It's like really close together. That's a single space. That's going to be really hard to read. So I'm going to select the entire document. To select the entire document, you can do it a couple of different ways. You can highlight top down all the way to the bottom, or you can go bottom up all the way to the top, or you can hold down Control and press the letter A as an apple, whatever. Get the whole thing selected, and then on your toolbar, find the line spacing button. Again, do the hover if you're not sure which one it is, and choose double. Now, it's nice and spaced out. You can actually read what it says. All right, so that one is officially done. Let me mark it off of my list. So I'll go back here and done. All right, change the margins to narrow. All righty, so I'm going to play with the margins. Now the margins are the part of the paper where there's no writing. The larger the margin, the less words you get on a page. The smaller the margins, the more words you get on a page. So if you're trying to cram more words onto a page, because the teacher tells you that you got to have one page, then obviously you'll want small margins. But let's get real. Most of you will want to have margins that are larger because then you have less words on a page. I know how it works. Anyway, we are going to go to help. We're looking for margins, so we're going to margin is what I'm going to type in there. And I am going to hit enter. And look at that, it takes me right to margins. Now, the instructions tell me that my margins need to be set to narrow, which is 0.5 on the top, bottom, left, and right. All right, so I'm going to click OK. And now my margins are set. Now yours will be set to 1. So you're going to need to actually change that to 0.5. Okay, on the top, bottom, left, and right. All right, so that one is officially done. By the way, I'm going to change the wording on that after this video gets made. I'm going to add the 0.5 to that so that you know what narrow is. So expect to see that change after the video is completed. All right, next thing I need to do is spell check. Well, I have already done that, so let me go ahead and put in some misspelling so that I can at least show you what it looks like. All right, so you can see I changed the spelling on blinking, and so it's now misspelled. Notice blinking has a red squiggly line. If you have a squiggly line under your words, you need to right-click, and you notice that Google's going, did you mean blinking? Well, yes, Google, I did actually, so I'm going to choose that. Always, always, always spell check and proofread your documents. That way you know if you've gotten anything, well, wrong. So look for those little squiggly lines. Sometimes it's a grammatical error that the squiggly line will represent. I was hoping there would be one that popped up on that, but it didn't. So just look for the squiggly lines and do the right click. See, there's another squiggly line. I'm going to right click and it goes, did you mean number? Or you can even have feedback suggestion and let it know if it's right or wrong. If this is how the word is spelled, aka your name, you know your name is spelled the way it is, you can tell it to ignore all, okay? But I did mean to spell it number, so I'm going to click on number and boom, that one's fixed. So I have officially spell checked and I have proofread my document. So that one's done. Next up, turn the completed document into Google Classroom. All right, so next we'll be turning this into Google Classroom. It is currently in my Google Drive, and so I just need to get it put into Google Classroom. Okay, so here I am at Google Classroom. I am on the assignment titled Word Processing Information Assignment, and I'm ready to turn it in. So I'm going to click Add or Create, and the assignment is on my Google Drive, and you should see yours under Recent. Mine is not. I actually created it under another account, so I'm not going to be able to get to the one that I just did in class. So I'll just put this there. You just pick the assignment and insert it. And then I'm going to click Turn It In. You've got to make sure you click Turn In, not once, but twice. And so it is officially turned in. You should be able to see the rubric after the video is recorded. I plan to put a rubric up on here, so you'll be able to click it and see my grading expectations. Once I get it graded, you can come back into Google Classroom and see your grade, see what you did right, see what you did wrong. If you have any questions, just let me know.